Good morning, students. I have prepared the previous video, but in that some students were complaining that the content was not visible. So I have just in the notes also, I have given those notes also, and I will just revise it. Okay, we have discussed about the human settlement, and I have taken this from People and India, People and Economy, means second book. It's lesson number 4. Okay. What is a human settlement? It's a cluster of dwellings. Dwellings, as I explained you, it can be houses, flats, or other place of residence, anything. And that is in a cluster form, in a group of any size or any type, where people live more or less permanently. It's not necessary that the people, those who are living at one place, they are living permanently. It can be less or more permanently, means the time they spend there. Another thing, settlement ranges from metropolitan cities to hamlets. As I told you, what is a hamlet? Hamlet, it's a type of a settlement smaller than a village. Okay, and metropolitan cities, you all know, it's a big city. So the settlements ranges from metropolitan cities to hamlets. Rural settlements or urban settlements. We have discussed in our course, we have human settlements or rural settlement or urban settlement. We will divide it into these two parts. Rural settlement, it is determined by extent of building up an area. Definitely, human settlements means this only, extent of building up of an area. The houses are close to each other or they are far apart. That is only we are studying. But in the reference to rural settlement, inter houses distances. Now, the most important thing is factors affecting rural settlement. First, the most important factors, this we have already discussed it many times, even in the migration lessons also, that why do people migrate? Yes, the most important factors we have studied there was the physical feature. If somebody don't find climate suitable for them, if they are earning money but they don't find climate for their health purpose to be better, so they just move from another place. They think that money is not important, first health is also important. So physical factors works more. Then we have terrain. In the mountain region, we don't find number of dwellings more in number. We find in the plain areas, where the land is in plain areas, we find the settlements more. Definitely, because the facilities, amenities, everything we find in the plain areas more. Like if I talk about transport, it's not easy to build roads, railway lines on the in the mountain region, but it is easy to build in the plain areas. So where the facilities will be there, the number of dwellings will be more in number. In India, we have plain areas made by the rivers, alluvial soils. We find the population more in number there, as we have already studied in the previous lessons. So why? Because people need water, food, everything. This is the basic needs, and there we get in the large in number. The production is more in number here. So people like to live in these areas. Right from the starting, Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, and every civilization we have been studying, that they lives near a river. Every civilization, it is found near the river. Definitely, because the requirement of water, availability of food is more there. Altitude, it depends upon the distance from the sea level also. Yes, this we have discussed in the climate lesson also, how it affects the life. So the rural settlement, or I can say the settlement, depends upon the physical feature. Next, availability of water. Then we have cultural and ethnic factors. See, it's like in Rajasthan, people following Rajasthani culture is more in number. Gujarati, following the Gujarati culture, they lives in Gujarat. Yes, our country is divided on the basis of these religions, these cultures, language is spoken, like Rajasthani is spoken here, Gujarati is there, Marathi is there. So what we find that these are the groups divided according to the culture. These are known as ethnic factors. Yes, upon social structure is also there. People living of following the Muslim religion have have a in a one area they are situated in large number. Following the same religion, the people are to be found more in number. So that is another factor. And the next factor comes, that is defense, security. Yes, people will always be in the demand of living where they find their life to be secured. Definitely you don't want to live at that place where every time you are facing some danger. Yes, people, though people live there, like if I talk about Nepal region, or if I talk in India, we talk about the plateau regions where we find earthquakes more in number. Though people live there, but they have made their houses or their livings according to that environment. Yes, but definitely they want to be live at a place where they find security to be there. Yes, now rural settlement in India, it is divided into four types, that is clustered, semi clustered, hamlets, and dispersed or isolated. If I talk about cluster settlement, what are the features? They are closely built up area. Yes, the houses are not far apart. They are closely built up areas. Okay, they are separated from farms, barns, and pasture lands. Yes, they are cluster of those house. It is far apart from the any farm, big land. Okay, pasture land I can say, that is away from that area. We find it in linear pattern and in radial pattern, that I have already sent the diagram and we have already discussed this. India, we find this type of settlement in northeastern states. Definitely these area, northeastern states, they are the areas where the linear pattern or the radial pattern is found. The people live in clusters. In Rajasthan, we can see the compact settlement near the water points. As we all know, in Rajasthan, it's a desert area. Availability of water, it's not easy. We cannot find oases, and only few water lakes are there. Rivers are also not perennial. Yes. So what is the difficulty of water is very too much here. So what we find, the river, the settlement is there where they have the water points, so that they don't find difficulty in finding the water. Definitely if they will have the difficulty for the water, availability of water, they will have their life difficult also. Yes, in semi clustered, you can understand the word semi means clustered, but having somewhat difference between them. The distance between the two houses is there. Yes, or I can say the cluster, the difference between the two cluster is there. Dispersed settlement than the clustered one, it is dispersed, भिन्न भिन्न, दूर थोड़ा फैला हुआ है. Separated from a large compact villages, large and a compact village, it is not the same. That will come into the clustered one. Dominant community occupied the central area. The community that is dominating the other community will occupy the central area, and the weaker section, they live in the outskirts of the villages. Examples in India, we find this type of compact in Rajasthan and in Gujarat. Hamleted settlement, physically separated from each other. There are some names given to the hamleted settlement, that is Pannas, Para, Pali, Nagla, Thani, and somewhere it is known as Dhani also. Okay, they are separated due to social and ethnic factors that we have already discussed. In India, this type of settlement we find mostly in the valleys of Himalayas. Okay, then we have dispersed settlement. Understood, it is isolated one. Okay, hamlets of few herds. Hamlets, again settlement smaller than a village, having only few huts, remote jungles, pastures on slopes. Yes, we find this type of settlement here. Terrain, land resources, these are the natural difference that makes the difference, that makes the separate from one to another. In India, in Meghalayas, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Kerala, this type of settlement can be easily seen. Now, let us discuss about the urban settlements. See, urban settlements, what we are talking about? We are talking about the cities. Okay. We have compact settlement. In cities, the settlement is large in number. Cities are functionally linked to the surrounding rural areas. The rural areas are not separated from the urban settlements. They are linked. Yes, they are linked. They are surrounding these rural areas. Functionally they are linked. Whenever they have some work, they are linked to each other. Okay. Then cities connected to rural areas. Cities are connected to the rural areas also. Cities are connected to the cities also. Okay, we find this type of settlement, or we can say this type of settlement known as urban settlements. Okay, see, in cities, as we all are knowing, India is that country. In the rural areas we find primary activities more in number. Definitely that will be a rural area. Yes, and in urban settlement we find non agriculture economic activities. I am saying non agriculture economic activities more in number. They have what more? Administrative activities. They are engaged in administrative activities also. So if I talk about the urban settlement, how it is different from the rural settlement, compact is there, definitely. Large in size, they are large in size. They functionally, they are linked to the rural areas. They are connected to the rural areas as well as to the cities, but they are engaged in non-agriculture activities. Mainly we can say through the manufacturing work, and the another one is administrative activities. Now we have evolutions of town in India. Evolution means they are rising, a rising one. Okay? Based on their evolution in different periods, there are ancient towns, medieval towns, and modern towns. In ancient towns, what we see, the historical background. Yes, over we can say 2000 years ago. Yes, then these are developed religiously and culturally centers. They have developed as religious centers or the cultural centers. These ancient towns have been developed by as religious center or cultural centers. Examples are Varanasi, Patliputra, Prayag. Again, I am repeating the examples: Varanasi, Patliputra, Prayag. See, when you are studying about India, you have to draw the maps. If you don't have maps now, though I asked you to bring more in number, but if you don't have, just take one map, paste it on a rough cover, and just draw the margins. Okay, or you can just trace it, then cut it and make a stencil. Some students might be having a stencil also. Whatever the thing you do, but you have to make the maps in your notebooks and you have to mark these places. You all know which state is there at what place, or you can go through the take from the google map only one, but don't do every work on the map on the net only. Okay, so mark these cities, but in Indian notebooks, your every work should be done in the map. Okay, so ancient towns: Varanasi, Patliputra, Prayag. If I talk about medieval towns, these are developed during medieval periods, definitely, as headquarters of the states ruled by a prince. Yes, that we says principalities and kingdoms. Yes, kingdoms where the king is ruling, prince is ruling, they are developed as an headquarters. These are four towns which came up on the ruins of ancient towns. Yes, ancient towns, when they ruined up, they came after in during the medieval periods. They were developed during the medieval periods, as we can say Delhi, Hyderabad, Jaipur, Agra. So examples of medieval towns are Delhi, Hyderabad, Jaipur, Agra. You have to mark it. Okay. In modern towns, I can say they were developed by the Britishers, and or you can say are other Europeans which came to India just for the trade but remained here. Okay. First developed the trading ports of Surat, Goa and Pondicherry. So modern towns, they were developed as ports where Surat, Goa, Pondicherry. Clear? Later they consolidated. They were just mixed up their wholes and developed the principal nodules. Yes, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. Yes, these nodes, what happened? These nodes, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata, these were the three branches that were joined. Okay, developed administrative centers, hill stations were also developed, military towns were also developed. Yes, modern industrial towns involved after 1850, like I can say Jamshedpur. Now, after 1947, many new administrative headquarters were also developed, like Chandigarh, Dispur, Gandhinagar, and Bhubaneswar. Chandigarh, Dispur, Gandhinagar, and Bhubaneswar. Industrial towns were also developed. I can say like Bhilai, yes, and satellite towns like Rohtak, Gurgaon. They they have evolved over the years. They have been developing, and still we are in the stage of living these in the modern towns. If I talk about urbanization in India, so it is measured by comparing the percentage of urban population to total population. In 2011, it was 31.16% for India. Enlargement of urban centers and emergence of new towns result into urbanization. I can say urban centers, they just came up and they just mix with each other and they emerge into a new towns. Now the classification of towns on the basis of population, I can say it was a class from 1 to 6, and here it has been developed through this population, where the population more than 1 lakh 50,000 to 9 lakh 99 9,000, I can say this, then 20,000, then 10,000, then 5,000, and then we have less than 5,000. So these are the cities that developed on the basis of population. Okay, highest one was 1 lakh, and then in the reducing from 50,000, 20,000, 10,000, then 5,000, and then goes to the up to the level of less than 5,000. Now we can say 60% of the urban population resides in class first. 60% of the urban class means more than 1 lakh. Then we have metropolitan cities, 1 to 5 million people. We have mega cities, 5 million people. Yes, 21% of the urban populations live in mega cities. Remember this, how much percent where they are living. Functional classification. Now see, these are the towns that are divided through the functions. Administrative, where the headquarters are New Delhi, Chandigarh, Imphal. Industrial towns, I can say for the industrial activities like Jamshedpur, Bhilai, Rourkela. For the transport cities, we have ports, hubs, transport network. For that we have Kochi, Agra, Mughal Sarai. Okay, for commercial purpose we have Saharanpur, Satna. For mining purpose we have Raniganj, Digboi. Garrison containment towns. this cantonment, it's have you these are the towns where the army people live. Okay, हम लोग जैसे छावनी कैंट बोलते हैं ना, that is. So we have Ambala, yes, Udhampur. Then educational towns we have Plani, Aligarh, Allahabad. Religious cultural towns Varanasi, Mathura, Ajmer. Tourist place we have Mussoorie, Goa, Shimla, Ooty. So these are classified on the basis of their function, why what these cities are famous for, what they are doing. Okay, so these are classified accordingly. Okay, so in this chapter we have discussed about how the settlement, how you can say the human settlement in the rural areas, in the cities, how it is divided, and in the cities how according to the metropolitan cities, mega cities, how they are working functions also. Okay, so in the I will send you in the PDF also, then try to prepare the notes. And students, you are not giving the homework in time, you have to give the homework on the date and the time assigned to you. Please be regular.